Hello and welcome to Missy T TV. We will be presenting Boarderline Streamers, Dungeons and Dragons, Horde of the Dragon Queen. Let me just jump over to the page. Scene, should I say? Okay, so here we go. Let me just introduce everybody. So, hello everyone, we are live. Okay, so
Hi.
I would like to first say hello to Rogue Gamer. Can you tell us a bit about your character? Rogue? Is Rogue here? Hello? Can they hear me? Oh, there's always some technical issue though, isn't there? Okay, one sec guys. Let me just see what's going on. Can anyone hear me?
Rogue's not on, he's muted at the
No, you just came back.
Oh, he just came back, okay. Alright, so while we wait for Rogue then, can we have Base to start? So basis of operations. Can you tell us a bit about your character? Base? Can you guys not hear me?
And I
Okay. Alright, let me just sort out my Discord a second. I don't know what's going on, guys. It's really patchy voice. Okay, that's strange.
Maniacs Miniatures is hosting you.
Yeah, I know, it's awesome. It's fine.
It's taking a while.
Alright.
Try disconnecting your Discord and reconnecting it.
Alright, is that any better?
oh, I heard you that time.
Okay, good. So, basis of operations. Would you like to introduce yourself and your character? No? Okay, I'm gonna rejoin again. One second.
Go on. Blacksmith.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go on.
Yep, that's it, I think.
And can you tell people what you stream as well? And what do you stream? What's going on with my voice, guys?
I'm still hosting. Actually on.
Base introduced himself twice already. I didn't hear. Sorry, guys.
We can hear him talking, but we can't hear him actually. We can hear him mumbling, but we can't hear him actually saying anything.
Okay, good. That's really strange. Okay. So yeah, you mentioned that you were Dragonborn, and what do you stream?
I stream miniature painting.
Lovely. Okay, and we have got Maniacs Miniatures.
Doing stuff.
Hello? What? I don't know what we're gonna do. Discord's not working properly. Shit. I'm gonna come out and come back in again. One second, guys. Okay, I am back. How's the volume and voice now? Is that better?
Seems so far.
Okay, good. All right, Maniacs Miniatures. Can you tell us a bit about yourself as well? Maniacs? Maniacs. And it's gone. Me.
Yep. It comes and goes, yeah.
Oh. Alright. I don't know what to do really. This is a pain in my arse. Okay. What is going on with the voice, guys? Let's check. Testing. La 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 la.
It's only getting half of the voice.
Alright. La 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 la. Okay, microphone doesn't work for that one.
Do you want me to get my microphone?
It won't be the microphone, it's Discord, I think, which is the problem.
Can I use my phone?
La 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 la. See, Any ideas, guys? Oh, now it's okay. Are we okay now?
Yeah, it's touch and go.
Crap. Yeah, tell you what, you darling, I'm going to mute the laptop. You talk on Discord, it'll still be picked up on the stream.
Okay, well I'm trying
so
to
just go through
that, yeah.
just go through onto Discord. So alright, I'll be talking on Many More Games' thing. Alright guys? So I'll be there. Alright, so I'm connected but I'm gonna just mute.
Okay. Which one is it? RP?
Go on the couch.
Many More Games. Okay.
Hello?
Is that better?
Isn't technology fun?
Wait a minute.
You want to mute, not mute, you want to deafen.
I'm trying to figure it out because I've got stupid screens all over the place.
So, you want that one?
Settings. Voice and visual mode. Voice activity. Sensitivity, solid green. So why am I not coming up a screen? I'm still red.
Can I mute you, darling? Can I? Ooh,
It can't work now because my phone's picking up everything.
try now.
Hello?
Is that better? Hello, testing, 1, 2, 3.
It won't let me go on. That's the problem. It won't let me actually... Hello? Hello? Can you all hear me?
Hello, are we working now?
Yeah.
Yes, brilliant. Okay, so Miniacs Miniatures, can you introduce yourself, please?
Hi everybody, I'm Meeple Miniatures. My name is Nate, and I'm here playing Weird Hal, who is a bard. And I just hit level 2, and I'm really psyched to use some of my new skills.
Fantastic. And I've already given you a shout out. Fantastic. And Rogue Gamer, your turn.
Yeah, I'm here as well. I know, maybe, sort of. I'm playing Aurelio, a Wood Elf monk that has been kill stealing the whole previous session.
Thanks for that.
Okay, brilliant. And lastly, we have got our wonderful GM, Many More Games. Can you tell us a bit about yourself and D&D experience and what you stream?
Well, hello guys, I am your Dungeon Master again today, and I'm normally a miniature painter, and this is my sort of first forays into miniature, into Dungeons and Dragons Dungeon Mastering. I've been currently a player on Miniacs Miniatures Adventure League, where I play as Felix Segarak, the level 3 Sun Soul Monk. We had a really good time last time, and I'm hoping that today is going to be just as good.
Yep. And then there's me as well. I am Missy Chi TV, or Tonya. I am playing Vistra, who is a dwarf rogue. And yeah, there's some interesting parts about her personality as well, so that's going to be interesting to develop. Okay, perfect. Would you like to give a little summary of what we did last session?
Yes, so before we kick off today, I'm just going to give a little bit, as Missy just said, a little bit of a summary as to what we did in our last adventure. So, in our last adventure, you all, for various different reasons, met up on the outskirts of the town of Greenest. Upon alighting the hill, you discovered that Greenest was under attack by a dragon. and that the whole of the town was going up in flames. You valiantly ran towards the town gates, where you had an encounter with a couple of civilians, all fleeing from a pack of gibbering kobolds. In the ensuing fight, unfortunately, the female, the wife of your now friend Cuff, was fighting back the kobolds. Unfortunately, she was killed in the ensuing conflict, as well as her eldest son Wulfric. However, due to Rogar's valiant actions in picking up the children and walking away like a tank, with those children one under each arm, Cuff managed to save 2 of his children, and Galinda and Darek are now safe and sound in the keep. After that, you searched around to see what was going on, and you came across a person who was a little bit distraught, wandering around the woods by himself, Cobbler the Tailor. And in a bit of daring action, inspiration from Weird Hal sent him off into the woods to find more people. At the worst possible time for you guys, Cobbler then returned, having gathered a large group of about 9 survivors in a train behind him. Just while you were trying to figure out how to deal with a set of cultists that were setting fire to buildings in the center of town. Rogar and everybody, Rogar came up with a quite ingenious plan to try and sort of pretend to blend in with the cultists. Not quite, and thanks to Vistra doing a little bit of scouting. Unfortunately, Vistra's searches didn't really give us enough details to figure everything out, and it turned out that the cultists were actually humans wearing dragon-style masks, being led around by a guard who was wearing what looks to be like the local livery. In an amazing feat of just pure anger, you guys destroyed those cultists, and this is when Avaros ran in and brutally put down about 3 of them in one move. You then proceeded to gather back together all of the survivors, which you learned there were 5 more survivors that had joined the group in the meantime, and also thanks to a religious check by, I think it was it Weird Hal. You've discovered that these cultists belong to a cult called the Cult of the Dragon, a cult which is known for trying to raise undead dragons, and has been around for quite a while around the Sword Coast. You then bravely ran through the town, through the rest of the town towards the keep, battling your way through different groups of raiders. You managed to usher all the people into the keep, and without any losses. As you did so, you managed to see someone calling and waving you in to the keep to try and get you in before they closed the gates. You managed to get in. The gates were closed, and you managed to actually get so much experience from this one encounter that you leveled up, and everybody is now at level 2. This encounter began at about 9 p.m. in the evening, when it's the middle of summer, sun's gone down, when the sun was starting to go down, and now it is about 10:30 p.m. It took about half an hour to get through the town. And afterwards, I said that because we unfortunately had to leave him because it was such a long gap between those 2 times. It was our first game. I said we could say we'd taken a rest between those 2 times. Okay, so let me just quickly get my screen up, and we can then begin. So I'm getting my screens up now. Here we go. So I have everybody's notes. Oh, that reminds me, Aurelio, I have to give you your mysterious note, but I'll have to do that in a minute, okay? So.
No rush. No rush. Give me the note again.
So, where we left you last time is you just managed to rush into the keep, ushering all the survivors in front of you as the gates, big ironwood gates, closed behind you, stopping your pursuers who were chasing after you, a group of kobolds and attack drakes and again turncoat guards. As you get into the as you enter into the courtyard, you can see around you it's quite a large keep. It's sort of built in a dwarvish fashion. It's quite squat, but it's quite a strong looking and defensible keep. As you look around the courtyard, you can see there are sort of things you'd expect to see in a keep. There's a stables. There seems to be a number of adjoining buildings. There's a large tower where you assume that whoever lives in this keep probably makes his residence. As you move into the courtyard, a number of attendants wearing what seems to be sort of blue and yellow livery, they run out from the tower and they start taking the civilians from you, ushering them sort of towards the main tower where they're going to be looked after and treated. What would you like to do?
So we've rested now.
Is there like a first aid station or something like that?
Well, as you come in, yes, the people start attending to you, and I'm going to say that's what the hour is that you've lost in time. Basically, a load of sort of field medics and not medics, but sort of healers and local wise women have sort of. They're doing their best to patch everybody up, and you spend about an hour just catching your breath after your run through town. Sort of random individuals coming back and forth, bringing pails and bandages, and they do their best to patch you up. So I'm going to say that that's the main thing.
After the patching up, can I stay there and maybe I'm not a healer, but can I just like. I have pretty good wisdom and pretty good medicine scores, so I'll just end up being there trying to help many people. And if I can muster up to like either salvage or collect a full healer's kit, or just a few charges of the healer's kit, just in case I need to go out again and I need to patch somebody on the fly.
Well, at the moment, because you just brought 15, you've got 15 survivors sort of all being looked after. You've got, as you know, Cuth is sort of, you can see Cuth sitting on one of the sort of little pallets towards the side. He's being looked after attentively by about 2-3 attendants because he was quite badly wounded. You can see a lot of, I mean, you can of course interrupt them if you want to try and talk to someone, but they're quite busy at the moment, sort of rushing around looking after these survivors.
I just like, because everybody's there and patching up and I'm helping them patch up, I just like want to like salvage a few bandages, a few, I don't know, emergency, like a few needles to sew something up, just like a few bombs. The healer kit has 10 charges in it, so if I can just get 1 or 2, like enough materials for 1 or 2 charges, just if somebody drops so I can just stabilize them. That's the whole idea. I'll be staying at that first aid camp or whatever area it is and doing my stuff.
I will say that I will say that if you're going to be you can see as you sort of walk towards the healer's station, Aurelio, so I keep getting you mixed up with your other character name, Aurelio. You sort of walk over to the healing station. There's quite a stern looking matronly dwarf woman who's standing there, and she seems to be directing the affairs. When you sort of indicate to her that you'd like to help, she looks you up and down. She sort of sees that you are. Sort of sees your garb and you know, she's desperate for help anyway because of the amount of people that she's looking after. So she just sort of waves you forward, but keeps a stern eye on you. As you sort of start patching people up, you sort of work there for your hour while you're sort of resting yourself. At the end of the hour, you ask if you can take a few bits and pieces from the local matron. She sort of looks at you for a moment and then just gives sort of a gruff nod. She lets you to take, I'll say, she lets you take enough for 2 charges to your healer kit.
Okay, and I just reply to her, like, it's for a good cause, right? And that's my hour.
Yeah. She looks at you and she just says, you work hard, so I can't begrudge you a few bandages. Now get out of my way. So you bustle off to another bed.
Weird Hal is going to be, in the time that we were resting, is working on his new song abreast, so that the next time we rest or need some healing, I can, do on my hand flute and cure everybody somewhat.
All right, so you spend that time you're just sort of sitting on your pan flute. Seems to be that you gather a little bit of an audience in front of you, a few children who are not too badly hurt. They sort of start sort of wandering towards you. You're the only entertainment they have, besides getting under their parents' legs. So as you sort of mindlessly tootle away on your pan flute, you gather a little bit of a crowd of children, and it seems that you're.
Can I roll a performance check to kind of cheer up the little kids?
Go ahead.
I'm going to. I forget how.
You just click on your thing for performance.
Where's the performance? Wow.
This is some of the best stuff they've seen in a while. Mostly, what they get to hear is is the local sort of oompa bands sort of playing, or maybe the revelries of a few people who've stayed a bit too long in the tavern, and warble their way down the street. This is pretty much like you're pretty much like Beyonce to them.
That's amazing.
Why did you say Beyonce?
Sorry, I don't know why I said Beyonce. She doesn't exist in this universe. You are like Cloudar the Bard, who is a well-known performance artist in Candlekeep.
Yeah, I usually have a big hit with the kids because my songs are funny.
Okay, so we've got Aurelio is has worked in the sort of the field dressing station. We have the wonderful Weird Hal playing what turns out to be like a masterpiece performance for the local children, sort of boosting morale in the area. You see a few sort of parents sort of turn and smile your way as if to say thank you for giving something nice to our children in this time. Who's sort of about you, Rogar or Vistra?
I'll let Rogar go first.
Is there a forge here? You have to go under there fixing guard workers and stuff?
It is a working keep. So there is there's everything you'd expect to find in a working keep. There is there would be a little sort of forge or smithy in a keep in order to be able to make those sort of makeshift repairs around the place. Also, as you can see, it is a dwarfish built keep, and at any keep without a forge that a dwarf builds is no keep at all. So if you ask around, you might be able to find one. Yeah. Okay, who would you like to ask?
Well, I imagine, because we're on, the city's under attack, the walls will be a watch or a check around by the walls of the keep for anybody who looks like they're guarding the wall.
All right. So as you're going to wander up onto the walls of the keep. I'm just going to move your guy so we know where he is. Okay. So as you sort of wander up onto the walls of the keep, you happen to see standing on the parapet, and he's sort of looking down above the gates. He's standing above the gates, and he's looking down at sort of the mass of people below, sort of trying to swarm his gates. And he looks quite old. He's a human. He's a human male. He looks to be about 60 years of age. So he's quite an old man for his time. He's wearing a blue robe, and this robe is covered with spatters of blood. And he's also, you can also see as you walk towards him that one of his on his face he's wearing a bandage that covers the right side of his face, one of his eyes. He also has his right arm in a sling. And he seems to be someone of importance. He's sort of gesturing to the other guards on the walls, and he seems to be yelling expletives down at the people who are sort of trying to barge their way into the keep.
His name isn't Lefty, is it?
I'm not going to dignify that with an answer. Yeah, and as you sort of walk up onto the walls, the guards who are sort of milling around, they see you sort of walk past, and any indication you make sort of to talk to them, they sort of wave you away and point you towards this guy who is walking around on the wall. So as you approach him, he turns and looks at you, and he sort of looks up at you. Quite a little bit, looks a bit shocked to see such a large specimen of a dragonborn on his wall. But he sort of cocks an eyebrow at you, and he sort of starts to walk towards you.
Slightly sheepishly, actually, I'm gonna say, forgive me, friend. Could you point me in the direction to the Keep's Forge? It's where I find my spiritual guidance.
He looks at you a little bit taken aback. No one has really asked him for use of his Keep's Forge in this sort of circumstances, but he turns to you and he says, "My good sir, may I first of all, before I direct you towards the forge of my keep, may I know your name?"
Oh, of course. I am Rogar of Clan Erexius, and the Traveling Smiths.
He turns and he sketches a bow, quite awkward bow, because he's sort of he seems to be in a bit of a pain. He winces as he. Can you please turn off the? Sorry. Just one moment. Sorry, we just got a volume problem.
Yeah, sorry, everyone's sitting quiet.
I think it's just the thing, darling. It seems to be okay for us. All right, thank you. Because I can't hear myself talk while I'm talking. It's very difficult. So he sketches a bow and then sort of winces as he does so, realizing sort of not remembering his arm in the sling, and he sort of pulls himself back up and he looks you straight in the eye, and he says, "Well met, Rogar of Clan Erexius. My name is Governor Nighthill. This is my keep, and you are most welcome here. I saw your brave deeds as you ushered my people through the town towards my keep, and I am very grateful for all the help that you've been able to give them in this terrible, terrible time. I only wish I could be out there myself. Fortunately, in the beginning of the fighting, I got quite badly injured, as you can see, and I was dragged back here by my castellan. We've had to hold up the keep, and as you can see, we're holding out for the moment. But don't let me detain you from your spiritual reflections. If you head towards the back of the back wall of the keep, towards the eastern wall, you will see that there is a large building with black tiled roof. That's where the dwarves built the smithy that was meant to be used to maintain this place. You're more than welcome to use it. However, I would ask a boon of you. Once you have rested and have reflected upon your time, I would ask that you gather your companions together, and that I may have an audience with you. I have a request I wish to make. Okay, so Rogar, you've got permission now. You can go to the smith. wander over towards the towards the north, where you can see a large number of pallets have been set out and people are being looked after. And of course, as you sort of go past, you sort of elbow your way past Aurelio, who's running around, sort of bandaging and looking after different people, and sort of see this very stern-looking dwarvish, sort of matronly individual, sort of probably in the sort of early hundreds, sort of maybe in her late hundreds. Sort of stomping towards you with a no-nonsense look on her face. She draws up towards you. And she just looks up at you and she says, "Well." Who are you looking for? Can he be the one with the two wee bairns that came in? Yes, he's quite badly wounded, but he seems to have stabilised for the moment. Yes, he's over there, and she points towards pallet, sort of towards the back, where it seems like a lot of people are resting. Probably people who are out of the immediate danger. And she says, "But make it brief. Poor guy's been through an awful lot."
I just
She waves you away.
I ran over to his bedside and tried to make myself as small as humanly possible.
And you sort of hunch your shoulders and you sort of like slope a little bit towards him. People get out of your way, though you're still quite a large, intimidating individual. And so you arrive at his bedside, and he's sort of blearily, sort of lying on the pallet. He's probably had some sort of medicine or herb has been given to him to sort of help him with the pain. And he looks up at you as you arrive, and he says, "Thank you, it's Rogar, isn't it? Thank you for coming to see me. And thank you for helping my kids." He sort of looks up at you and he says, he sort of raises his hand sort of weakly and rests it on your scaly claw, and he says, you did nothing to fail us. If you hadn't been there, you would not have gotten, any of us would not have gotten out. I would not be here today if it weren't for you and your companions. At least little Galendon and Derek, he'll be fine. Wolfric was a brave lad, and so was Linan. I know she wouldn't blame you for what happened. Neither would my son. plan to stand? You still will stand vigil with me when we lay them to rest? He smiles and then he sort of slumps back onto his pallet. You can see he's absolutely exhausted, but he seems to be at least a little bit sort of lighter-hearted now that he knows that that you guys are going to be sticking around a bit longer. And yes.
If I could just make a really, really quick interjection, it's just a small retcon. In the last session, I said that I was a follower of the god of luck, and I misspoke and said the name Tyr. In fact, it is Timora, not Tyr.
Okay, that's no problem.
I meant to say.
All right, I will write that. I'll jot that down to make sure that I get that right as well. Okay, so Timora, and that is Weird Hal.
They are all local, and depending on what Vistra wants to do, I'll see if I can round up the other three.
Okay. So Vistra, while they're doing these things, what are you doing?
Is there an area where I can actually get that much
This is a keep in a sort of a frontier place. There might be an armory of some kind in the area, but as you can see, a lot of people are equipped, standing on the walls and standing around. They're wearing what probably is what's in the armory at this time. They would only have enough really to field a basic militia in an area like this. They wouldn't have. The only person who might have something is probably maybe the governor might have some stuff of his own, but it's probably family heirlooms or even sort of rusted antiques.
Is there any way that I could maybe also find a way to get a health potion or made or something, maybe a health potion if there's anything there? I know they've got a lot of people injured and got a lot of resources for that, but I wasn't sure if there was like
Well, I mean, you're welcome to go and ask someone. I mean, you have to decide where you'd like to go. At the moment, we know there's a smithy. There's Night Hall up on the Night Hill. Up on the parapet. We know there's the sort of the dressing station where they're looking after the refugees. Here.
So, okay. Alright, so I can go over there.
Okay. Right.
And I just sort of go in and I sort of say to whoever is nearby, I'm really sorry to interrupt you. I know this may be a very long shot because the medicine is sorely needed, but I did wonder whether there is a little bit of medicine or a health potion that I might be able to acquire.
Well, she. This is again. This is a very sort of like stressed out looking sort of looks almost like a servant. So probably she looks probably half elven. She's got sort of long ears, but they're not very very long. She's a little bit taller than the average human. She's sort of standing there looking very harassed. And she says, "If you want anything, you've got to go talk to matron," and sort of runs off back to sort of where she's working on her patient.
Can I do a perception check maybe to see where the matron is?
You can have a look around to see where she is. You don't need to do a perception check.
Okay.
Alright. Still doing you can do a perception check. You don't need to do one though. As you look around, you can sort of see what appears to be. First of all, you can see Aurelio. He's sort of running around as well, like the servant, and he seems to be doing his best to bandage up and comfort people who've been injured. You can see also, as you're standing there, you can sort of see Rogar sort of walks in and sort of talks to what looks to be like a very stern dwarvish sort of middle-aged woman, and she sort of directs him towards the back after a short conversation. It's very sharp movements of the hands as they say, "Don't bother me any longer. Just get." And sort of by sort of looking at everybody around, sort of looking at these sort of individuals, you can see that this dwarfish woman is the one who's in charge.
Okay, so I'm going to go over to where Rogar is then, to go to the dwarfish lady, and again I'm going to kind of say to her, I am so sorry to trouble you. I know you have so many things to do, but I was just wondering, again for the long shot, if perhaps there may be, a mild or very small health potion around that I could acquire from you.
She looks at you straight in the eye, which for once, the first person she's been able to look straight in the eye, and she looks at you and she goes, "Now come on, dearie, you're a dwarf. You have a lick of sense. Look around you. Look around. Do you think I have a healing potion spare at the moment?"
I know, it was just a long shot. I won't bother you anymore, and when I leave.
Okay. She sort of, she appreciates your abruptness, sort of waves you off.
Other than that, there's nothing else that Bistro wants to do.
Okay.
Although, she wouldn't mind doing a perception check to see if there's something of value around.
Okay. Do a perception check. You look around and you see the stones and the trees, and you see it's a keep, and you see there's a lot of people walking around. You do see that when one of the servants comes out of the main tower, that the decorations inside are a little bit finer than would be expected to be seen in, say, a normal house. But really, in the courtyard that you're standing in, you can't really see anything of value. The only thing, I can barely hear. Okay, so you might have to speak up a little bit.
Okay, sorry guys.
How am I coming through? Am I coming through okay? Okay, great. All right. So as a sort of you look around. One thing you do notice, however, there is a dwarf. A dwarf male. He's sort of standing in the center of the courtyard. He seems to be directing the local guards around as well. He seems to be a bit of a huff. He's a long red beard, is all tangled and unkempt. He's holding a shield and an axe. And you notice that his sort of clothing is a little bit finer than that of people around him. But that's really all I can tell you from this perception.
That's fine. Okay, I'm gonna go over to and I'd like to see him, and I'd like to say, hello, as a rogue, I have been very good for scouting, and I was wondering if there's anything that I could do to help, perhaps scout an area that you need before we talk to the person. Is there anything I can do to help where my skills could be utilized?
He looks over at you. He looks away from where he's sort of talking to a guard as he's sort of pointing towards the main gate. He turns and he says, "A rogue in my keep. What dark days have we come to now?" And he says,
Can I see what's happening?
"Well, you're currently giving the performance of your life to these tykes." So the dwarf says, he says, "I'm sure we need things to be done around here, and a good pair of eyes is always helpful. However, I'm not the one to tell you what to do. if you're going to be asking anyone, I go and talk to Governor Nighthill up there. He points up towards where a man is sort of gesticulating on the parapet, and he's sort of gesticulating to his people, and sort of wearing quite fine clothing. There seems to be something white on his head, but you're not quite sure what it is from this distance. He says, "I'm only the local the dwarf sort of pulls the direction back towards him. Says, I'm only the local castellan. I'm only the castellan of the keep. I only look after the security. I would go and talk to the governor if he has any plans for you and your kid."
Okay, well, thank you very much for your time. And I go off and I sort of go over to the governor and I what is this the
Parapet is the wall.
Oh, okay.
It's the curtain.
Okay, so I will myself.
Okay, well, you've actually spent your hour now, so
Oh, I have.
so,
Okay,
so
that's
I
fine.
would say that you need to be sort of moving. I would say that's probably everything you've done. Ari's done about 2 major actions during this time, so I'm going to say that that's the time up. It is now the resting is over, and you're prepared and ready for what is to come. And are you all spread out where you are on the map at the moment? So Aurelio is over, sort of standing to the side, filling up his medicine pouch, and
By this time, I'd just be coming out looking for everyone.
okay, all right. So as you sort of all gather together, you look at each other, and what do you want to do?
Alright, so I go over to like where the others are, mainly where, for example, Weird Hal is, and I go over to him to sort of start to group up with everyone. And as the others join, I kind of say to everyone, shall we go and speak to this governor?
Oh, I was just about to say the same thing.
He seems to be the man that knows things around here.
I want to speak up at this time and say, well, you know, guys, I know how to speak. I know how to speak Dwarven and Elvish, so it might help.
That would be great.
Okay, so you all, so Aurelio, are you on board with this? Aurelio's gone silent.
Sorry guys, I was a bit AFK.
That's okay.
So, they're grabbing everybody?
Yep.
Like all of us? So what did you say to Aurelio?
Oh, I just said, are you in on what everybody else is doing? They want to go speak to the governor.
I'll be around. I'm not really joining up like one of the 4 in the party, but I'll be around walking and listening to what's happening.
Okay. All right. So, if you would all make your way up to the onto the curtain wall towards the governor, if that's where you wish to be. I pinged him. He's up here.
Oh, there. Okay. Yep. I'll.
So, as you, because some of you haven't met the governor yet, so as you walk up towards the onto the parapet, you see sort of again directing the guards up on the curtain wall, and sort of as I said, yelling obscenities down at the people who are surrounding the gate of his keep. You see Governor a 60-year-old human male. He's about average height. He's wearing sort of a blue coat that's covered in spatters of blood. Has a white bandage over his head, which is covering his right eye as well, and his right arm is in a sling.
Okay, I'm going to approach him and greet him in Dwarven.
He looks at you a little bit surprised, but then in a sort of a tone that sounds like two rocks, a number of rocks crumbling together, sort of gravelly sound of Dwarvish, greets you in turn, and then he coughs a little bit and sort of says to you, I hope you don't mind if I switch back to common for this, but gosh, Dwarvish always makes me feel like I'm gargling rocks. He says,
Common? Oh, I know Common. Yeah, Common's great.
oh, thank goodness. He looks a little bit relieved. And he says, oh, is this... He looks around and he sees Vista, and he nods, sort of bows towards her, sort of in a low, courtly fashion. Again, eliciting a wince as he does so. His arm is obviously causing him a little bit of pain. He looks to Roa and gives him a nod, and again bows to Weirdhowl and says, I need to thank you again for all you have done for my people. I could not have asked anything more from travelers who made it their business to assist and aid some poor and downtrodden folk like mine who've absolutely lost everything from these beasts. He turns around and he yells something in what seems to be like gutter goblin, down at the people underneath his keep. It's if anybody knows goblin.
Let me just check. I might know.
No. Intimidation. And he shot him with the short bow.
Sorry?
You shot him with the short bow.
Who?
You did.
Oh, did I press something? Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm joking. Okay. Sorry. Well, it wasn't epic. It was an epic fail. It was a 1. So
I got that out of the way.
So
I'm just checking without pressing anything. No, I know common and dwarvish.
the safety's on. The safety's on. There comes a yelp from someone over the other side of the wall.
Press a short bow.
Yes, you just shot a short bow over the wall. Luckily, it seems to have not hit anyone on your side.
Oh goodness. I'm very sorry. I have to watch this short bow. It has a mind of its own.
The other side of the wall. Ah, my eye!
And then another yell and then there's another yell. It says, "It's okay. I'm getting better." And
It's only a flesh wound.
I'm not dead yet. Anyway, continuing.
I say to him, oh yes, my short bow has a mind of its own. I'm sorry about that. So you're the man that is in charge around here? Is there anything we can do to assist you?
He looks sort of taken aback, but also immensely grateful. He says, well, that rather takes the wind out of my sails. I was about to ask you exactly that question. He says, he sort of turns and says to you, he says, look, let me explain exactly what I think's going on here. These raiders, they've sort of isolated my keep from the rest of the town. I don't think they actually intend to attack the keep. From what I can see, they seem to be burning buildings and taking valuables from those buildings that they're looting. I need your help, all of you. I need you to help me save the town. I need you to help me get the people out from the town that have not managed to get out yet. I want you to slip into town, help out my people, and if you can, harass those dashed raiders.
That's fine with me. I mean, for example, I'm a rogue dwarf, which I know is a bit unusual, but I am very good at sneaking and scouting and finding out what's going on. I do have a question though. What would I get as a reward?
He looks up at you and he says, he sort of looks around and he says, well, for my eternal gratitude for once, and I'm sure we could work up some sort of financial compensation for your help.
I look at him, sort of look him up and down to see whether he's genuine. But I see the pain and the struggle that they're all caused, and I'm not an evil person. So I'm like, yes, I'm sure we can work something out if it all goes according to plan. And then look at the others to see if they're gonna ask him something.
I just look up and I go, Weird How goes, Gosh, if there's one thing I'm good at, it's harassing raiders.
Certainly flattened a few of them. I'm not particularly good at sneaking around though, so...
He looks. Governor Nighthill sort of looks at you with a sort of savage expression and says, "That's perfectly fine with me." He sort of calls you over to him, and he sort of gestures to the parapet, and he takes out of his pocket. He takes a sort of a map that he places out, sort of using the curtain wall to keep it straight. And I'm just going to show you the map. See if this works. Please don't move characters around while I do so. But with any luck, this should.
Wow.
That's cool.
So he sort of pulls this map out in front of you, and he says, "Now you can see we are currently here. This is the keep, and it's surrounded by the local village. I noticed you making your way towards me as you entered the village from here, and then moved through the main streets, and then ran up towards me here." He said, "However, you've only managed to clear part of the town. I'm pretty sure there are quite a number of people who are still stuck out there and are being harassed by these damned fools." He says, I first of all, I think the most important thing to do is to get you away out of here." He looks down, he sort of wraps up the map again, and I'm just going to pull you back over. Sorry, 1 minute. I need to pull the players back over, that's what I need to do. He pulls you back over, and he says, he sort of gestures down. You can see that as you've been sort of taking your rest, and as you've been helping out around the keep, you can see that the number of raiders around the keep has grown substantially. Okay, there are probably about 100 cultists now, sort of surrounding the doors of the keep. They seem to be trying to get in, but not having much success. There are a number of guards among their number. There's quite a few large-looking, sort of half-draconic-looking dog-like creatures wandering around as well, snarling and spitting. It's drooling and hissing on the ground. And you see sort of the grass is blackening where they're walking. There's a large number of people down there, and he says, he turns to me and says, "I don't know what your prowess is like, but even I wouldn't go for those sort of odds."
I look at the governor and I say, in this type of keep, would there be maybe an underground tunnel or a sewer to go through to get out from the keep without the raiders knowing our position?
He looks up at you, sort of surprised, and then he looks a bit thoughtful, and he says, "Well, you know what? I'm not entirely sure. I inherited this keep from my grandfather, my father and his grandfather before him, but, I have a dwarf in my employ. His name's Escobar. He's the castellan of the keep, and he's been here since my grandfather's time. If anybody knows anything about the ins and outs of this keep and a way to slip in and slip out sneakily, yes, I suggest going and talking to him. He probably knows the security methods of this castle better than I." And he says, "I'm not, I don't like to. I'm mainly here just to govern. I look after. This is my family seat. I look after the place, but most of the time we don't even need to use the keep. I have a house down in the town where I like to spend most of my days. In fact, that's why I was able to be involved in the fight in the first place. The only reason I'm here right now is because I told your good friend here," and he gestures towards Rogar, "my castellan dragged me back after I got injured."
Okay, I also want to say to the governor, so you would like us to go out back into the town and find out what these raiders are up to and kill them, basically, and get rid of them. Do you also want us to do some sort of explosion to distract the raiders from the keep and make them move away from you to sort of help you deal with the people inside as they're resting and recovering?
He looks at you in alarm, He says, no explosions, thank you very much. This is my town. He says, the keep is perfectly fine. It is a solid dwarven-made keep. It will be able to, it could hold out. He looks over at you. He says, if he's saying, and he says, and you are, my good sir?
Aurelio, I'm the warden of the nearby forests. I saw what happened here, so I decided to punish the guys who are disturbing the balance.
He bows to you and he says, well met, warden of the forests, Aurelio. My name is Governor Nighthill, and it is good that you have come in this time of our hour of need. As for this type of keep, well, whatever you may think, as I know that there's a rivalry between the elves and the dwarves, but whatever you may think, the dwarves know their stone. And he gestures down towards, he sort of gestures down off the parapet in the other direction towards where you can see sort of a stocky dwarvish figure sort of harumphing around the main courtyard, yelling at guards and gesticulating wildly with an axe. And says, if you want to talk to anybody about sneaky dwarvish tricks, however, I suggest you go and talk to Escobar. I would suggest one of the first locations you should go check out is the old mill. It's quite a sturdy and strong construction. There's probably quite a number of people who ran towards it rather than the keep.
Is there any other places where people would go and find refuge, as well as the mill, if they weren't able to get to the keep? A school or a guard's office or post or...
So he thinks a bit thoughtfully. He says, well, there's a temple to Chantia that could possibly have a number of people hiding in it. Yes, I suppose the two main locations I would be thinking you should check out, probably the old mill. It's a sturdy, strong stone construction, very, very tough, very large. I would suggest, yes, that's probably a good location to go. And also, I would probably think as well that the Chantia people might have run to the temple in order to find sanctuary.
Okay, so we have some places that we can look at while we go around and eradicate these pesky raiders.
Okay, so
Weirdo kind of pats Mister on the back, saying like, "You're pretty good idea."
I look at Weird Hal and I say to him, and you are very surprising to me as well.
all right. So what was the plan, guys?
I suppose we need to find Escobar to see if we can find somewhere out of this without having to fight our way through hundreds of commanders.
Yes,
There's gotta be a storm drain or there's a river just to the south. There's gotta be a way if the river floods that the water can flow back out of
the river can be a no-go.
Pointed out to ask for
Okay. So you're going to go speak to Escobar. Yep, that's him. He Right, so as you walk over towards the centre of the courtyard, you see quite a short. He's quite a short, stocky, well, like most dwarfs, sort of individual. He's got a long red beard. It's tangled and sort of a bit singed, and he's sort of dressed. He's dressed in chainmail. He's carrying a shield on one arm. He had an axe in the other, and a sort of a helmet which is a bit dented and beaten looking, but sort of still perched on his head. He's roaring at the moment at a guard who's dropped his spear to pick it up and get back on the wall. And he sort of, as you approach him, he turns towards you and looks you all up and down, and gives sort of a nod towards Vistra, as if to say, "Good to see you again."
I look at him and say, "Hello again. I thought we might be bumping into each other. I heard from the governor after speaking to him with my fellow crew that you would be the man to.
Where's the exit out of this keep?
My friends got there before me."
He sort of he looks at you, and you sort of see a little sneer as he recognises the pointy ears, but then he sort of like. And he sort of looks at you and he goes, "What do you want to know about hidden ways out for?"
Save people.
Just to save people. Oh, you've been speaking to Governor Nighthill.
That's what I was trying to say, yes.
He's been trying to get me to lead a sally out into the town, but I just don't have the people. Secret ways out. Okay, well, there are ways out, actually. There is a way you might be able to get out. He looks sort of thoughtfully and starts stroking his beard, and then he sort of puts his hand down towards his belt, where you see that's a really big ring of iron keys sort of attached to his belt, and he sort of lifts them up out and looks at them thoughtfully and starts thumbing through them. He says, "This is as you've probably heard already, this keep is a dwarven keep. It's strong, and it's been able to weather any number of attacks. It was also designed for a siege. There is an old tunnel. It was designed originally for the collection of water in case of a siege, and also in order to send out foragers in case we needed to refill our larders. Unfortunately, it's never been used before. This keep has never been besieged before. We also have a little sally port on the western gate. However, I've seen some raiders sniffing around there, so I wouldn't recommend that as your point of egress." He picks up one key and he sort of snorts, and he sort of snorts and sort of starts to pull it off the ring. And he hands it over to you. He hands it over to Vistra, sort of looking at the others like as if to say, "I only trust a dwarf with this sort of level of responsibility." Hands it over to Vistra, and says, "Yes, if you enter the main keep tower, there is an iron-bound door. It might be a bit rusty, a bit jammed. This hasn't been used before. If you'll find it behind a big pile of barrels and boxes that we had on top of it from time immemorial. If you want to get out of there, it leads into a tunnel that should lead towards the river. That's probably your best bet of getting out of here."
Vistra's cheeks go a bit grey and a bit green and says, "Water? How high is this water?"
He looks at you as if to say, "You're a dwarf, really?" And he says, "The water is in the tunnel, dearie."
I also turn to her. If the dwarf says really, I also turn to her and say, "Really?"
We don't have water in the tunnel, dearie. It comes out so it's close to the river so that we can get water, not so that we get flooded every spring.
So the tunnel is fine, but it'll lead to the river.
It'll lead towards the river, yes.
Yay. Okay, I think we have a way to go.
Okay.
I'm going to speak Dwarven at the guy, and I'm going to say,
looks at you. He looks at you sort of. He looks at both of you as if to say, and he looks at you both says, "Finally, a civilized tongue in this place." He says, "You're all right for a manling and a scaleborn. All right, if you go out towards the main keep tower."
You're an eloquent elvish. I just say, bloody dwarves.
In equally eloquent elvish, he says, in equally eloquent elvish, he turns around and says to you, "Bloody pointy ears." Dwarves can know elvish.
I turn to Escobar and in Dwarvish, I say, "You can trust us to deal with this."
He sort of nods at you, and he points towards the main keep tower, and he says, "Get yourselves gone now. We'll keep it safe here until you get back."
And I just move away. I start heading there.
Okay. All right. So, you're all going into the keep. Okay. So as you sort of enter, you see that the level of opulent finery that Vistra thought she looked around was really just a number of sort of tapestries on the wall. The place looks a little bit empty and deserted. It's like it's not really been used as a living quarters. You notice a bit of straw. You notice a bit of maybe a bit of a ribbon lying on the floor. It's probably been used to host local galas or maybe to allow for the brewing of local beers or something. In case of competitions, I mean, a keep like this would normally be used by the whole community in a time of need or in times of festivities. So as you enter, though, you see towards the sort of the far wall that it's kind of stacked high with boxes and barrels and really that's what you see. It's quite bereft of people. There's a few servants running up and down the stairs, sort of coming up down the stairs with what look like bed sheets in their hands, and sort of running out of the door past you, squeezing past you towards the dressing station.
As a rogue, can I see where this key would fit in this area?
Okay. You look. You look around, and you don't see an obvious place for this key to be put. But you do see that there's a. I mean, you do see there's a large amount of boxes and barrels sort of obscuring your view.
I say to everyone, guys, it might be an idea to move some of these boxes. The entrance may be well hidden.
Escobar.
I help the Dragonborn as a dwarf. I'm quite strong as well.
All right. So All right. So as you move the barrels and the boxes, as you see move the barrels and boxes, you sort of unveil a small door. That sort of trap door that's sort of built into the floor of the keep. It's a heavy door, a heavy wooden door, old, aged oak, bound with iron, very hefty, very strong looking.
Alright, Vistra gets the key and she unlocks the door on the floor.
Okay, so you put the key into the lock, and it kind of resists you for a little bit, but just with a little bit of effort, you turn the key and the locks click. And you opening the trap. Okay, as you open the door, you see a number of sort of stone-hewn steps that are leading down into the dark. And I'm just gonna have to change the map here, guys. So give me 1 second.
Do I need a torch to show us how to get down?
Well, you are a dwarf. You have dark
I have
vision.
dark vision. There might be someone who does that.
So let me just quickly sort this out, because I need to try this. Let me see. Hopefully this works. I'm tried it and hopefully it works. So let's get you over here. Alright, so there should be in the corner an area of light. Alright, so I need to have I need to have people move their people in there. Okay, I'm sort of seeing everybody sort of sitting there. Alright. Wait a minute. Let me. Okay, so as you come down, the sort of the light. Let's see if I can get this right. So as you come down, sort of the light from the trapdoor sort of illuminates a little bit more of the passageway. Can you see anything? I can't. Okay, all right. Just give me a second. That might be the problem. Just bear with me 1 minute. I need to just do that. Then that might be. I've still got it as an image. Yeah, the map's on the map. Map's on the map layer. Yeah. I can't see your characters. That's my only issue. I can't see where you are. That is strange. Let me send it to the back. That might help. Okay, I sent it to the back. Is that helping? Get the token layer. I can kind of see your characters, but they're not really showing up. 1 minute. I need to send. Oh, what have I done now? Wait a minute. Map layer. I'm doing the token layer now. I'm going to just try moving the map again. 1 second. Map layer to there. Alright. I have my map layer with everything on there. Can you guys still not see yourselves?
I can see me, but I can't touch her.
That's very strange. Alright, can you delete your characters for a second?
I can't see my character.
Alright, give me a second. Alright, I can kind of see you. Just 1 second. There's like multiple versions of you guys. Let me just delete you quickly. Just stop moving, please. Just moving around. I'm just trying. I've got multiple levels of the same people going on there in a minute. The same person over and over again. Put on there. And how many people put themselves on there multiple times? Alright, let me try something. Alright, so let me put your characters on there. That might help. Might not, but let's give it a go. Okay, so if I put you here. Okay. So I've put you on, but you're still coming up as not there.
If you've put anyone on the tunnel, I can't see anything.
This is very strange.
Do you want me to turn my tablet around so you can
No, I know. I can see what you're seeing because I'm seeing it on Twitch.
Oh, okay.
Can we?
Is there more than one copy of the map in your library?
No, it's just one layer.
While you sort it out, I am going to go for a quick bathroom break.
Can we go on a quick? Yeah, 2 minutes. Can we go on a quick break on Discord thing? All right, go on a quick break while I sort this out.
Don't worry about the voice. Just leave it.
Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah. Would you like a tea as well?
Yes, I would love a tea. Thank you. I don't want to reveal anything. That's my issue. On the map there, what's happened? Alright, because I did this. I mean, the thing is, everything is turning up fine except for you guys. You know what? Let me just try something quickly. Token layer advanced. Back. Nope, still not working. fog of war off. Maybe that's just the best way to do it. Wait a minute, let me try something. All tokens, no. Reveal tokens. Yeah, go to your character. Okay, now Aurelio, can you see yourself now? Because you seem to have turned up.
I see myself, but I'm grayed out and stuck inside the map.
No, I mean, I've got a copy of you here, which I can move around myself.
Yeah, I cannot move it, and I think it's too big for a book.
Yeah, I know that. Just give me a second. Delete that. Can you delete your character? I deleted...
Characters from our character sheets, it's just about layers.
Rogue, sorry, I am thinking about layers. I'm using the right layers. Alright? I've layered everything up, it's fine. I'm just trying to figure out how to get you guys on here. What's...
Just like on the previous few maps we used.
Yeah, it's exactly the same as the other maps we just used. I didn't do anything special with this one. You're moving him around, but I can't... Look, I'm just going to turn the fog of war off. Maybe we can just do it without fog of war. That might... Let's see if that helps. Well, not much I can do about it, really, if it doesn't work. Turn the fog of war off for a minute. Dim light reveals. Show grid.
Wait, are you using the fog of war given by Roll20, or are you just...
No, this is fog of war by Roll20.
Oh, that's the fog of war. Wait, do you pay kind of paid subscription to this?
Yes, I do.
Okay, then it's different. You need to give each character like their own field of view, basically.
Okay. Alright.
So each token needs to have like a field of view, and you can like set it up like 30 feet. It's
Alright.
like from 50 to 60. It's dim light. You need to have these sections, and then you need to mark each wall, like where's the wall where the fog of war.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. you guys. Yeah, I know, but this is my sort of like Friday evening thing, and I will make it better next time around. But it's just I can't be bothered, to be honest. It's just supposed to be a bit of fun, really.
It's crap. It's a lot of fun.
All right, so if we put your character on there now, can you see anything?
Yeah, it's working perfectly.
There we go. We'll just use that then.
It's definitely that. You just need to add each token, field of view, motion.
Yeah.
Also, how do I sound? I finally got the pop button.
Yeah, I've got it. You sound great.
Yeah, but it's like it's still far away from me, but like no, I'm walking somewhere in Hong Kong.
Okay. Are we gonna get started again in a couple of minutes? So we'd say 2 minutes? Okay, I'm just getting a cup of tea as a reward for being Dungeon Master, so I'm excited about this. You guys get experience, I get tea and biscuits. I think I'm gonna have a chocolate digestive, that'd be nice. Chocolate biscuit.
Hobnobs all the way.
You can't get hobnobs out here. We have Marks and Spencers though, so we can get a few bits.
That makes me really jealous. You guys have all kinds of cookies and stuff that we never get.
It's because we're awesome.
Yeah, I know. All the cookies in America, really lame, not good.
I genuinely had to fight the British inside me saying they're biscuits.
They're biscuits, yeah. tell you what, Base. If he thinks that's good, we should take him to Millie's. Millie's Cookies, remember? You don't remember them? Oh, there used to be a place called Millie's Cookies. You used to do you used to get like a cookie cake, which was just awesome. But this might be when I was in Scotland. Scotland has all this sort of stuff as well. So. Ugh, don't remind me.
Deep fried hamburgers as well.
Yeah. When I went to uni in Scotland. When I was up there, I worked in a restaurant, and we got a new deep fat fryer in the restaurant. And like the first day it was used, the first thing they ever did was like, let's just deep fry as many like Mars bars and stuff as possible. That was literally what they did. The minute it was put in, it was plugged on. They put the oil on, and then the chef's like, "All right, go and raid the snack machines. We're going to deep fry everything we can." It was horrible, but you know, you gotta give them the innovation for that, I suppose. What can we do with all this fish batter? Put a Mars bar in it. That's a good idea. These are the people who have that deep fried potato scones instead of toast. Don't get me wrong, I love the Scots. Some of my best friends are Scots. But when you go into like the place and it's just like, oh, it's so greasy. My skin is peeling off. All saturating, getting a nice sheen to it. You can see Weird How? Excellent. Okay. Well, you can now because I've taken all the other filters off, so it's just like... You'll have to imagine you can't see very far. Well, as you open the trapdoor, it sort of illuminates the tunnel a bit, and you see like a tunnel it's quite narrow. There's a lot of rubble around, which means you can really only travel. Who's that? Vistra. You need to be a bit further back, please.
I was just putting myself on the thing.
I know. Be a bit further back. So you can really only travel like sort of one at a time. So I kind of need to know the order that you're going to be moving in. As you sort of open the door into tunnel, you see a lot of cobwebs around. No spiders, though. It seems quite a sort of dead and sort of abandoned tunnel. As I said, it's quite narrow. There's a lot of rubble around, so to safely traverse it, you'll have to move sort of one at a time.
Okay, so what order do you all want to go in?
I mean, I don't have dark vision, so depending on just how dark it is in here, I can go in the front of the one.
Yeah, but you're on fire. We'd be able to see no problem.
Well, I can scout if you guys want.
15-foot cone of flame down there.
Well, you've only just got that back. I wouldn't waste it on lighting the tunnel for 6 seconds.
Well, I can scout, so I don't mind going first, and then Rogar could have my back as a bit of toughness.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if we get attacked in here and I can't see, I don't know what I'm going to be hitting, but sure.
As a bard, I prefer not last in line, but second to last in line, because I really can't defend anybody. If something struck behind me and in front of me, I'd be a lot better.
Okay.
How do you feel about that, Aurelio? Are you okay with that?
Are we ready? So is this the order you're going to be moving in?
So I was
need you to
me in front of Rogar, and then yeah.
All right. You guys are walking on the rubble at the moment.
Okay.
bits of fallen
That's
masonry
why.
stuff.
That's why it's single file.
Yeah. So Weird Hal is sitting on Aurelio's shoulders at the moment. Yeah, he's under Weird Hal. All right. So as you sort of Vistra, you're in the lead. What are you going to do?
I'm going to move forward. So I can move as far as I want because I'm not in combat.
Yeah, you can keep moving forward a little bit, but move forward. Yeah.
So is the GM happy for me to go as far as there?
Yes, you can go there. All right. So as you walk around the corner, you having your dark vision, Vistra, you notice what seems to be some very large piles of garbage and rushes and bits of grass and everything, all sort of piled up in these large mounds in the center of the in the center of the hallway. And as you do that, as you walk around the corner and sort of step into one, which you've done, there's a large sort of like sort of squeaking noises, and from these big sort of tufts of sort of garbage and stuff, swarms of rats start to speed towards you, and they
I bring out my sword.
Okay, well, and you can see two large swarms of rats, which, don't enable fog of war, bugger off. Let me just do this. I've got everything on the GM layer, so I need to bring them forward. Layer 2. Budding. So,
Do I need to do initiative?
Sorry, I just moved on the right layer now. So, yes, two large swarms of rats appear. So, it is now time for initiative, please. There you go. I need my papers. So, it's 18. So, and what did you get, Vistra?
I got 17.
And the rats. Da, 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 da. And the second rat swarm. Alright, so I'm going to say that the rat swarm in front is rat swarm 1, and the rat swarm in the back is rat swarm 2. 1 and 2. So, sorry, one is, you're stepping on rat swarm 1, and rat swarm 2 is behind that one.
Okay.
So, the first person to go would be, well, it will either be Aurelio or Weird Hal. You could decide who goes first.
Sometimes it's decided by Dex, Dex modifier, but I'm okay with it which
You can decide if you want to do it.
wants to go with how to go.
Well, whoever's got the highest dex modifier can go first. It doesn't matter. I don't mind. You can decide amongst yourselves. There you go.
So, my current movement is 45 feet.
Yeah.
I cannot move with these bars, right?
You can't move through the rock piles. You can move through the rats though, because the rats are tiny. You can walk through them. But they will obviously, if you walk through them, you'll probably get an opportunity to attack you if I remember correctly. But I'm not sure. But yeah, if you move out of combat with them, yeah. Okay, give me an acrobatics check. Give me an acrobatics check. +7. Yeah, you dash, and as you sort of leap off a pile of rubble, you run along the wall, flip, and land gracefully behind these rats. These rats were just sort of swarming around Vistra's legs. So that is a... So it's a 20. Okay, that's a hit.
And that's 8 damage. And unarmed strike is bonus action. Advantage. Another 8. Wow. On to these guys.
Okay. So that is... So, you sort of... These rats kind of like dashing around the ground, sort of climbing up your pant leg and all these sort of things, and you're literally smacking them off, and as you hit them, they splatter into other rats. They sort of swash. You've cleared out a large number of the rats from the swarm, but yeah, they're not all gone yet, and they're looking a little bit angry.
Thank you.
That's rat swarm 2. Okay. Next person to go would be Weird Hal. That is a hit for 3 piercing damage. Okay.
Now that's a light one-handed weapon. It's not.
Yep.
Yeah, so how roll for the other?
You just do your strength damage.
If you have a dagger in your other hand, you can attack it with that dagger, but you don't add the +2 from your dex damage.
Right, I'm just trying to. I don't have another. I only have one. So
It would just be your strength modifier.
Oh, unarmed strike? No, that's only monk bullshit. Only a monk with his martial arts can attack as a bonus action with an unarmed strike. Like, where is it? When you use an attack action with an unarmed strike or a monk weapon on your turn, you can make one unarmed strike as a bonus action.
Yeah, that's
I'm
monks.
trying to use the unarmed strike skill. I'm trying to use my secondary attack that I roll out because I'm using a light one-handed weapon. I don't know the name of it, but it's just.
Only if you have another light weapon in your other hand, you can do that.
I'm just checking 1 second.
So it's impossible to punch or kick then?
Nope, unless you're a monk.
I know you can do unarmed strikes, but it's just basically your strength modifier normally.
Yes. Basically that. You just punch it with 1 damage. If you get it.
I fail anyway.
Okay, so do you have? So that was your bonus action, was it? Instead of using weapon to make a melee weapon, you can make an unarmed strike. It is just.
It's not a bonus action. I do not use my bonus action. That is a part of my attack action. Because I have a light one-handed weapon.
No, it's not. That's only as a monk.
Bonus action.
That's only as a monk.
Monks, it's a bonus
Yeah, only a monk gets that ability, gets the ability to make an attack as well as like its regular attack, as part of the same action. It still counts as a bonus action for anyone else. That's why monks are so nasty. Yeah. Yeah, and then if you use your key, you can do 2 attacks instead of 1. Okay. So anyway, so it is now Vistra's turn.
So Vistra is going to attack the rats that are climbing all around her.
Okay.
She's looking very pissed off that they're climbing her legs.
Yeah.
So she's going to use her short sword.
Okay.
Do I get advantage because of where Aurelio is?
It depends which.
The one's on the
Okay, no, because you're not. Yeah, that's a hit.
So this is on.
The rat's climbing you. 7 damage. Okay, so yeah, you're stabbing away at these rats, and you're sort of skewering them. You're making a rat kebab as you're doing it, but the rats are still crawling all over you, nipping and tearing at your, ripping and tearing at your legs. Well, you're a rogue. You have. Yeah, if you want to disengage, you can. Yeah, but you need to push past Weird Hal. Yeah, I know. I'm just saying she needs to go past Weird Hal. But if she's disengaging, yeah, it counts as a bonus action. No problem.
And I don't get attacked by the rats.
You don't, because disengage means you don't do it. You get to move. Is it half your movement, bro? Full movement. Okay.
I just go.
Alright, and it is Raticus Prime gets to go next. Raticus Secundus, I call him actually, because he's the other one there. So Raticus Secundus is going to attack. He's going to attack the monk, who's been swatting and splatting his mates. Let me just check what his thing is. Chances of hitting this monk are very low because this monk has exceedingly high dexterity.
Yeah, I'm gonna see roll double crits now. I just don't get it.
Well, they don't get an advantage on anything. So this one here is going to go and attack you for 20. He rolls a 2. Does that hit you? Wait, it's a 4. It's a 4, but it's not going to do anything. So yeah, that's a 4. It does nothing. And then it is the other rat, and he's going to attack Weird Hal. So it's D20 plus 2. So a 12. Does a 12 hit you? So these rats are scurrying around, they're nipping, but you're just sort of dodging and sort of moonwalking out of the way. They're trying to bite through your breeches, but they can't get through the thick leather. And it is Rogar's turn. Well, if you did you leave the door open?
I never said I closed it.
Yeah, I'll say it's dim light. You've got let's say about maybe 40 feet dim light. You can actually, yes, you can. Rats are so tiny that you can occupy the same space as them. crit. Yep. So roll damage. Okay. So what? That's 17 doubled. Yep. So that's that. So this So what does it look like? What does this attack look like as you do it? This hammer comes down on the rats and it starts just to mash up these rats into paste. As you do so, the rats are squealing, they're running around. They're squealing, they're running around, but your unerring strikes are just squashing rat after rat after rat. And then the last vestiges of the swarm run away. There's still one swarm running around your feet, but the other swarm is still the swarm that you mashed is gone. Okay. All right. It is now Aurelio's turn. Do you have a dart? Can you throw a dart? Yep. Okay. Second dart. No, both darts hit. So, explain, show us what this attack looks like.
It's just seeing a massive dragon in front of him and just he puts the staff to the side, pulls out the darts in a single flash of moment and just flies towards the swarm and just at the right moment, like shish kebab, a bunch of rats onto him and just fly past.
Okay, well they just, and they're just like all getting like stabbed and skewered. One dart picks up like six rats on one blow, and the other one sort of buries itself into the sort of the largest rat of the bunch, and yeah, the swarm dissipates and runs away. Okay. You didn't roll any. You didn't roll a critical loss, so I'm going to say just pick them up. Rat kebab. Nobody want to keep them for rations? Okay. All right. So you sort of continue to head down the tunnel, and it's getting darker and darker. Are you going to continue to leave that doorway open?
No, because now I'm going to say that I'm going to shut it, and then because of Rogar having darkness, I am going to...
Well, Weird Hal as well, I've been to human.
As well, yeah. I am going to use my
the torch illuminates the rest of the passage. It's not very long. It's not a massively long passage. You can see that it's sort of after a while, it's sort of just after sort of going through a number of corners, it sort of ends up with what looks like, you can see a bit of daylight down at the other end. You see what looks like the outline of a grate or a door. And as you sort of walk towards it, it gets closer and closer. You can see it is a thick, iron-bound grate. That sort of, it's a door which is sort of it's sort of camouflaged to look a bit like a sewer exit.
And before I go there, I am going to, where these piles of like garbage and stuff, I'm going to set them on fire.
There is limited oxygen in here. You want to set them on fire? If there's anyone outside, they may see the smoke. It's your choice. Okay. Maybe leave them. Maybe just give it a hint. Maybe leave them. It's just a rat's nest. It may not even burn. It's mainly just garbage and bits of bone and stuff that they've sort of made a little nest out of.
You will be running constitution for diseases.
Okay, well, as you get towards the exit is, you can see, as you said, it looks like a door which has been disguised as a grate, so as to you can see there's a lock on it. The lock looks to be a little bit rusted, a little bit corroded, yeah. So
I have thieves' tools, unless my key will work on this as well.
well, you can try both.
I was going to say, before you try and unlock this gate, it is a secret passageway into a keep. Obviously on the inside, we've got the
Yeah, again, is there something I can do?
You can do a perception check for me.
Shall I do it, or does someone else want to do perception?
I don't know who wants to do it.
Alright, I'll give it a bash.
Okay. You look at the gate. You see that it is of sturdy make. You look around it. You can't really see anything that would indicate some sort of trap or any sort of booby trap. You remember. Also remember that this doorway had been blocked underneath a whole load of boxes and barrels. It's probably not been used for a long time. You can't see anything which looks like arcane symbols or anything that would indicate some sort of trap of that nature. You do notice again that the door that the iron gate looks very sturdy. You also notice there is quite a large lock on the door, and it looks a little bit corroded, a bit rusted.
Okay. Can I try the key then?
Trying the key?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to move the character closer towards the grate? We can possibly get there. I'll say standing.
I'm saying
in
that
front.
I'm behind it. Yeah.
All right. So, give me a dexterity check, please.
Was it dexterity save or just dexterity?
Yeah, give me dexterity save.
Save.
Yeah. Okay. You put the key into the lock, and it does quite heavily resist you. This is an old, clunky, sort of rust. This is probably centuries old, and it's been near a source of water. So it's not in the best of condition. But with sheer force of will, you manage an effort, a bit of teasing with your thieves' tools as well. Maybe you manage to twist the key in the lock. There's a clunk as it unlocks, and you sort of, with a little bit of an effort, you sort of push the grate open.
So then we're opening the gate. I'm gonna step out.
Okay. As you do so, you notice, you happen to notice that as you're looking around the stream, so as you're sort of like looking out the grate towards. Let me see if I can. Sorry, just give me 1 second. This has not worked out for some reason. I don't know why. Why is it not working? Oh, I know why. Wait a minute, I figured it out. I figured it out, guys. I know what's gone wrong. Here we go. I think, why won't it work? Sorry, this is me with my thinking I'm so smart, setting everything up.
Don't try, don't. Is this a token thing again?
Something like that. Okay. Oh, I know what I've done wrong. Wait a minute. I figured it out, guys. Don't worry. I figured it out. You're all alright. I figured it out now. Okay, there we go. As you sort of step out, silently opening the gate, sort of pushing it out, you notice because of the stealthy way in which you've managed to exit, you notice that sort of wandering around on the riverbank, sort of probably searching for hidden townsfolk. There are a number of kobolds and cultists sort of walking up and down the stream, sort of looking into the stream bed. Sorry, there should be one less kobold. Let me just... Oh, there's got too many for some reason. I don't know why. Here we go. You should be dead. As you're sort of walking around, you hear sort of like walking around the stream bay, and you hear these two sort of human guttural voices. You stupid creatures! Why can't they find their way around without us directing them? I want to be back there getting the loot. Right. And they're sort of wandering around, looking around the stream bay. They have not seen you yet.
Okay, so I am going to sneak back to where the others are, and I am going to whisper to them, "Be really quiet, guys, when you come out, because we've got some pests to deal with." Okay, so what I want you guys to do is I want you to just very carefully sneak out, go into the bushes. I'm going to lock the door back up after you've come out. Is everyone alright with that?
I may remind you that I am at a distinct disadvantage with my sneaking. I'm clinking everywhere I walk.
Maybe then you should go last, and we'll get ready outside. If they hear you, well, it's a fight, but at least we're gonna be ready for it.
I will be very happy if you guys want to stealth and get into position, just in case I give away my position. You guys at least know what you are.
Alright, so everyone sneak out as best you can so I can lock this door back up so they don't get into the keep.
I'm going left or right? So, left or right?
Let's see. I think it's about fairly the same on both sides, so from my immediate vision, so probably, I don't know, right, there's a big bush there.
Yep. Yes, you can. Yes, it's quite. You can see the river. It's quite a sort of shallow-looking river. You can see down to the bottom. There's sort of a gravel base to the river. It's not a. It's not a very deep river. So it's sort of a little stream going past the town. Really. All right. So as you're having this discussion, and as you start to exit the the secret tunnel, you notice that a number of the kobolds seem to be sort of looking around warily, and just as the last of you gets out and as Vistra turns the key in the lock, there's sort of a hue and cry as one of the kobolds excitedly points in your direction and gestures towards you. Nope. well, Weird Hal rolled pretty badly with his stealth, and but also these are to be completely honest, as a DM, you were going to be fighting these guys anyway. They just would have had advantage against you with a surprise round if you had not if Vistra had not seen them. So it is back into initiative order, please. So can I have everybody's initiative? Rogard trips as he comes out and falls face first till he snout like an inch away from his snout from the water. So he's sort of paralyzed with fear as he does so.
Vistra is just trying very hard to ignore the water.
One, pretty good then. Pretty good. And I'm just going to use a d20 because it's easier for me to do it on here. So it's 9 for one, it's 10 for number 2, it's 18 for number 3, it's 3 for number 4, it's 18 for number 5, it's 18 for number 6, it's 3 for cultist number 1, and it's 18 for cultist number 2. Wow, these cultists are really on the ball. Okay, so let me just quickly get that sorted. So that's 1, 2. Cultists will go first because they are that. 3, 4, 5, 6. You got a 14, didn't you, Aurelio? So 7. And you got a 1, Rogard, so you're going to be going last. Sorry. 8. The first person to go is Weird Hal. It's about 3 feet deep. Right up to your chin. Dwarvish probably comes up to sort of at your chest. Rogard to his ankles. Yep. Engaging. Yep, I can see. Yep. Okay, so a 15-foot cube, Thunder Wave. Very nice indeed. So that is a DC 12 Constitution save for each of them. Let me just find their Constitution. Oh, great. Okay, let's do this then. -1 to whatever they roll. First guy gets a 13, so he passes. Second guy gets a 12. How does that work? He passes it, okay. And the other guy gets hit full force. Okay, so that's well, these kobolds are quite crispy, and so what does it look like? This is a thunder cube, I'm guessing. So how does it work? Are you going to go Pikachu and just zap it, or what's that going to happen?
hear that.
Everybody hear what?
The thunder.
Thundercats ho.
No, I go, thunder.
Yeah, everybody in 300 feet radius hears that.
Okay, so Captain Sparklefingers here basically conjures this wave of thunder, and even two of the kobolds sort of dodge out of the way and sort of get, and in the lower half of each of their bodies get sort of being encompassed in this wave. But even that is enough to just sorry, what have I done? Control Z, go back. Is enough to just fry these little kobolds.
Yes.
And so that's three kobolds are just one of them is just turned into a charcoal briquette, completely and utterly just blackened and singed until it just burned to a crisp. The other two, sort of the lower halves above their body, are just completely obliterated by this wave of thunder. The other half is sort of like this very surprised looking kobold, sort of like trying to crawl, and then they both expire. So wait a minute, I need to remember which kobolds they were, so I'm going to say they were 1, 2, and 3. Get rid of those 3 kobolds. Makes it easy for me to remember. Alright, next person on the list is Vistra.
Okay, Vistra is going hell way near that water. She is going to use her bow, and she is probably... Oh, no, I'm moving her. Don't want to move her. She's saying where she is.
Not on accident this time.
Not an accident, yes. Not failed either.
Accidentally on purpose.
Accidentally on purpose. She's probably going to go for the cultist, so she's going to go for this one. I'll ping it so the GM can see. So she wants...
Okay, shooting the cultist.
I don't know if you can see that. Is it pinging? No, it's not pinging. This one.
This guy here?
That one. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
Alright, so she's using a short bow.
Alrighty, bro. That is a hit. So you let loose this arrow. It flies straight into the shoulder of this cultist. He's dwarfish, and he just like shouts in what seems to be sort of koboldic or draconic. And I'm pretty sure Rogar could tell you that is not a complimentary sort of name. I say, brother. So yes, he takes 4 points of piercing damage. I say, bad show, old sport, bad show.
And that's my turn, because I don't think I can do anything else.
He's, what the juice? And he sort of like just looks at you, and just in just hatred in his eyes. Okay, so first of all, it's the cultist's turn now. It's cultist number 2. This one here. He is going to walk over to engage with our bard here. Say, you're gonna pay for what you did. He pulls out his short sword. And it is plus 3 to hit, so 15. 15 hit. He's attacking Weird Hal. That's 15 on Weird Hal.
Oh, yeah, that's a hit, yeah.
Okay, so that's 1d6 plus 1 damage. So 5 damage to Weird Hal.
Okay.
I'm
like, ow, why?
He looks at you. You burned my critters. Next person to go is, so he's that is cultist number 1 done. That's cultist number 2 done. Then we have our 2 little kobolds over here. So these guys are going to go, and one of them is going to they have. I think they are armed with slings. And kobolds are not particularly good. Okay, so yeah, they're going to. I think he's going to use his sling to attack. It makes sense. And I think he's probably going to attack. Well, this one. He probably attack. This one probably attack Vistra, being that it's the closest one. Yep, he's got 30 feet. He's got a 30 feet range for those. So who's doing the little arrow? Rogue Gamer. There's arrows all over my screen.
Yep, it's me.
Okay, so first kobold attacking Vistra, and so he rolls a +4 to hit with his sling. So 14. Would a 14 hit you?
Just, yes.
It does hit you. Okay, so that's 1d4 plus 2 damage to you. He gets they also get advantages if they're next to another kobold, so they will get.
I think that's only melee because.
No, it does. It says they have an attack. They have an advantage on an attack roll against a creature if at least one of the kobolds. Oh no, sorry. That is only if their kobold is next to one of the creatures. Is next to the. Yeah, you're right. But it's not about melee. It's about whether there is a kobold near the creature. It doesn't say melee. It says a kobold has an advantage on attack roll against a creature if at least one of the kobold's allies is within 5 foot of the creature and it isn't incapacitated.
So, in other words, the kobold has to be near the target, not itself.
Yeah, there has to be a kobold near the or an ally near the enemy it's attacking.
It's just like sneak attack.
Yeah, just like sneak attack.
Yeah.
How much damage?
It's going to be 1d4 plus 2, so it's 4 damage. And so 4 damage. The next kobold is going next. This guy here, and he's going to shoot a shot off at Rogar. So that is natural 20.
Oh, yeah. That actually hit me.
Yeah, for once. I think this is the first time a kobold has done any damage to you this entire game, Rogar. I know you can, Rogue Gamer. It's just easier and quicker for me to not type it. So it's natural 1 plus 2, so 3 times 2, 6. I'm a really slow typer, Rogue Gamer. I'm really sorry, but I am, and it's just.
Hey GM, if you click the dice icon, you can pull up the advanced dice roll. You can type it in once and then roll it as many times as you need.
All right, I'll try that next. All right, so that is so 6 damage to Rogar, and then it is, I believe. That makes it Aurelio's turn.
Oh wow. My turn?
Yep.
Really?
Yep. Everybody else has got like 3s.
My god. My turn. Okay, I can go help our resident bard, or I can just try and kill these guys. Bard, do you need help?
My health is okay, but I have been hit for a pretty big whack. If he keeps hitting me another round or two, I'll need some help, but I can stand on my own as it stands right now.
Okay, I'm running across water or on top of water and getting to this guy.
No problem.
So just a normal attack. Does yeah, this misses well.
Let's have a look. I'm afraid, yes, it does miss. I'm afraid. Yep.
I'm gonna try and punch him. Still.
I need another dagger.
Again, he twists and it just impacts on his leather armor, but the force is dispersed and it just doesn't do any damage.
Okay. Give me a moment. Enter.
Okay, excellent. And next one is The cultist you just tried to attack. He's the one who got shot in the shoulder by an arrow. He's going to, I think, yeah, he's going to attack. He's going to attack the monk that just tried to punch him, and just completely misses. He just swings out wildly, and the blow goes over your head.
I'll just deflect it. Like, no.
You deflect it up. Okay, and then that just leaves one little kobold and Rogar. So this little kobold over here, he is going to take another shot at. He's a coward. He's going to attack Vistra. So does that would be +4. So does a 20 hit you?
Yes.
Okay, shut up.
Does a 41 hit your AC?
So it's, let me just do this, 1d4 plus 2. Roll. So that is 5 damage.
Okay.
Okay. And does that like now get saved or something? Can I do that again? Oh yeah, re-roll, I see it. Oh wow, there's quite a lot of things on there. That's good. Thank you very much for that tip.
I always use that when I DM. It's so much faster.
Thanks very much. It is that is very useful for me. Okay, so that I believe is now Rogar's turn. Rogar manages to pull himself up from the riverbed, and what does Rogar do?
Panics.
Panics.
Man.
So you want to use an action to panic?
Yep, use an action to panic.
I mean, roleplay. There is no way Rogar's going into that water.
Fair enough. Do you have anything that you can do that will be? Do you have any ranged attacks, or do you have any hand axes or anything?
I can knowingly look at Vistra and I say, do you want the other side of this river? Because I can get you over there.
I don't want to, but we may have to. But I might just stick to my short bow for the moment.
Oh, that reminds me, I do actually have a light crossbow.
All right, you're going to pull out the light crossbow.
I do actually have a light crossbow.
All right. I'm not going to challenge you for pulling out a crossbow out of your backpack.
Can I do that?
Yep.
Which one of those little nutsacks managed to hit me for a moment?
That was this one here.
Yeah, he's going to get a light crossbow bolt to his face.
All right then. So we can have a shot, please. The kobold, the kobold sort of looks at you. You pull up this crossbow and let Lunacy goes, ah! And it ducks down, and it just the bolt goes right past it and looks up, and it just yells at you in Draconic. You suck.
I just roll back.
He looks slightly cowed. Okay, and then that would make it 1 round done. So it is now back to Weird Hal.
Alright, Weird Hal, what are we going to do here? Weird Hal's ready for this. He's going to, oh no, what is he going to do? He's going to stab this guy with his dagger. Here it comes.
Wow. Yes.
Nice.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Wow. 6 damage. That
Okay,
is nasty.
I-
What? Go on then.
I will go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and take the attack of opportunity so I can move back across the river to my allies because they have bows and arrows and I don't.
Okay. So you're gonna take the. He's gonna.
Well, I figure I might be able to bait this guy. Is my point.
All right. So you've done. you've basically. How did you stab him? Was it like an underhand stab? Was it under the armpit, in the neck? What was it?
Oh, okay. Actually, what I did was I took my dagger and I just, after he hit me last time, I just real quick was like, ah, in his gut, and then turned around as fast as I could.
He holds his gun. He's like, "You!" and he just lashes out at you as you go. That means he gets. Okay, I'm gonna. Sorry, just give me a second while I set up his attack roll because it's, as you said, it'd be much quicker if I do it this way.
I got within 10 feet of Rogar with my boots,
So he critical hits you in the back as you run away. I'm afraid, and that is for 1d6. So we need to double this. I don't know how you can double it on this roll, but we'll just double the amount.
I think we're gonna need a short round.
Oh! He rolls a crit. He rolls a 1. He gets so it's 4 damage.
Alright.
So he cuts across your back as you go, but you just unknown you sort of slip a little bit as you move, and it just moves you forward far enough that it doesn't cut into your spine. It just lays this gash across your back.
So, I'm going to actually go ahead and use Healing Word as my bonus action, and then that'll be the end of my turn. I'm going to use it on myself because I'm about halfway down.
Okay. Nice. Okay.
Okay.
So back 6 HP back up. And so that's everything?
Yeah, that's my turn, yeah.
So what does your healing word look like? Do you just sort of go, you know, where does it go? Is it a song or is it a whistle?
I sort of, my healing word is, oh golly. I had such a good idea for this last week and I totally forgot what it was now. Let me think about it
All right.
for a second and I'll get back to you.
All right, so Weird Al is mumbling to himself, and this light is just starting to appear around him. And Vistra, it is your turn to step forward.
Vistra's not stepping forward. Vistra's going to go back to her short bow. She is going to attack this guy.
Same guy you shot last time.
To me, you get sneak attack damage.
Yep. Sorry? Well, she won't cross the water because of her character.
Yeah, so short bow to him.
Does she get sneak attack damage?
Sneak attack.
Yeah, she does get. You do get a sneak attack because he's
Oh,
standing next to
yes.
the person, so you get your 1d6 extra.
Okay, I'll tick that then. Thank you. Even with a ranged weapon? Okay.
Yep.
My healing word is Excelsior.
Excelsior!
Oh, yes,
I love it.
awesome. Alright.
And this beatific, mustachioed man with big glasses just appears behind you. His hands open like a lotus position, and just sort of like nods knowingly at you and just dissipates into dust.
That's with my sneak attack.
So it is that is a hit.
Lovely.
Just. So that is your regular roll, but you get to add 1d6 to that as well.
Okay, 1d6 coming at you.
So with another 6. Okay. All right. So this is an epic kill shot. What does it look like?
Vistra is just so pissed off that there's water, reminds her of her son, and she's already been shot at, and she's just sick to death of these fucking creatures. So she just gets out her short bow and just whips it across the stream, and
The arrow, or are you throwing the bow?
No, I'm talking about the arrow from
Okay.
the bow is whipping across the stream, shooting across, and gets him squarely in the right eye.
The cultist. And he falls face forward into the lake.
Awesome. And can I do my sneak attack as a bonus action to hide in the bush so that my visibility isn't good to the others?
Yes,
shooting at me?
you can use your bonus action to hide. That's right.
Do I press something for that?
Yep.
Or do I
Oh,
just say I'll
what was that
attack?
base? Okay. Sorry, I can't see the messages very well when I'm doing this because I have like multiple screens, but they're all for like books and things.
Fine, just carry on.
All right.
So do I press something for my sneak hiding?
When you hide, what does it say? How you hide according to the book?
I know how.
But you need to say where you hide, in a bush,
Yeah.
behind a tree.
Yeah, I'm going in the bush that's on the left of me.
Okay. What,
So
down
I just
here?
do my stealth skill.
Yeah. So you have to take a stealth check.
Okay, there we go.
I believe that's fine. Can I have a quick?
If she beats their passive, they don't.
Yeah,
see
yeah,
her,
if beats
or
their
they
passive,
spend
then-
a turn trying to find her.
All right. That's going to beat their passive. No problem. Yeah, that beats their passive. Yep. So you've hidden.
So on first attack next turn.
Yep. So you've
So
hidden.
I'm
You've hidden
here.
away from them. You're hidden in the
I'm
bushes.
there.
All right. So next up is cultist number 3. This one over here. So he's going to come over and he's going to try and attack Aurelio. So he is.
That cultist is one motherfucker.
Okay, this cultist is obviously the most competent cultist with a blade that we've seen. He's definitely not your typical stormtrooper. So that is for 2 points of damage. He's very good at hitting. He's just not very good at cutting deep. So he flickers out his scimitar, and it's almost like he's trying to taunt you, and he sort of cuts a little cut across your cheek, and catches your arm a little bit on the way down with the backstroke. And so that's for 2 points of damage. Next up are my 2 other little kobolds. So kobold over here, he's going to go now. Kobold number 6, his name is. I will call him Kobaldius. So he's got D20 plus. Okay, so he's going to be shooting at Rogar since he can't see Vistra. That is an 8.
These guys are bad shot.
This is now the one that shot at Rogar last time is going to give it a go. See if he can make it through. I don't think that's going to make it, is it? Nope. So this time it just clatters off your mail and bounces off, and the pebble just rolls into the water. Both kobolds are looking down at their slings, looking very almost embarrassed, but just also a little bit frustrated.
What's wrong with this thing?
Yeah. So yeah, one of them's taking the thong between his teeth and just try to make it work better. Aurelio, it's your turn.
Okay. Yeah, turning around and swinging at the cultist. Like he's gonna strike me from behind.
Yep, that hits, and that's 13 points of bludgeoning damage. All right. As you turn around and you swing at him with your staff, it pokes it. It basically hits him right in the neck, and it just crushes his windpipe. You can see he's gagging and choking for breath, and then he just falls to his knees and sort of just lays on the ground, shuddering, and then just like rattles out his last breath, and just falls still.
Maximum damage, and I'm gonna like jump off of him and drop kick the kobold over here.
Copernicus.
I think I crush him.
Yeah, so as you sort of launch your way off, you sort of lash out with a punch. It catches this kobold directly under the jaw. He launches into the air with your blow and comes down and falls into a crumpled heap on the floor of of the riverbed. It starts to float away. And that
and
is...
I finish with a flourish of death and in a stance that I'm getting ready to kick the ass of the other two kobolds.
Brilliant. Well, that will make it Rogar's turn then.
Alright. I've been stood here just staring this guy down. I take one step forward, and I'm going to take another shot at him with my crossbow.
Okay. That is a hit. You hear this, as he gets hit in the shoulder, catapults backwards a bit, sort of like pulls himself back up, and sort of like starts gesticulating at you wildly, very rude draconic hand gestures, and then he sort of turns to, he hears a sort of like flump. He turns and he sort of sees one of his best mates just neck broken, lying on the ground next to him. This monk sort of standing, hand upraised, looks over and sees everybody else sort of mustering across the river. And yes, there's definitely a feeling that there's been a bit of a fall in morale.
That's why I shout at him in draconic, come and get it.
And then that would make it Weird Hal.
Weird Hal. Let's see, Weird Hal. What are you gonna do this time? It's gotta be epic.
No pressure, but do something awesome.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to do that. I just want to make a measurement real quick here. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and Weird Hal is going to step to the shore.
Mm-hmm.
And Weird Hal is going to viciously mock this fella right here.
Okay. Yeah, the
DC 12 wisdom save, sir, for 3 psychic damage.
okay. So they get -1 to their wisdom save. 9.
Oh, just a tiny retcon, because I still have movement. Could I just move in front of these two guys?
I'm gonna say okay. Yep, go on then.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So the Weird Hal. So that goes through, does it? So that's 9. So that's 3 psychic damage to this little kobold here, Copernicus.
And what I say, I made up a song specifically for purposes of teasing people. It goes like
Awesome.
this: you're gonna die, you're gonna die.
And we're gonna kill you.
And then he does.
It worked. It worked.
He literally just holds his heart, keels over, and dies. This is like the Death Note, you know, just clutches and down. And that leaves one little kobold sitting in a tree. Time for Vistra to end him, please.
Yep. Vistra
Gets an
is...
advantage on her attack against him.
Oh, awesome. So I do an advantage. Can I do my sneak attack thing?
Yep.
Okay.
That's sneak attack.
You can always do a sneak attack when you have an advantage on a roll.
Right.
Yep, that's right. Advantage and sneak.
That's a hit. There should have been a bow, but it's the same.
Sorry.
It's the same dexterity modifier. Just if you can just do the bow and it's 1d8 plus thingy get damage
okay.
anyway, plus 1d6.
Alright, so 1d8.
It's okay. Just if you can roll 1d6, you've already done the 1d8 from your piercing damage.
Sorry.
Okay, so as this kobold backpedals away from his friend who just dropped down dead after being mocked by a human with the pan flutes, with a pan flute. He sort of stumbles back, and from out of the bushes, Vistra just rises up and lets loose this arrow. The arrow, how does it look, this shot?
Do I kill it?
It's...
Okay, cool. So Vistra goes squarely to the crotch with this arrow.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew it. I saw that coming.
The kobold just looks at you in disbelief. Sort of going, how did you know that kobold genitalia were under the armpit? And falls forward into the river. My only weakness, how did you know? The little guy unfortunately dies. So that is, congratulations guys, that is every enemy on the board taken out of action.
We just took almost all major damage.
I would just like to call out to Aurelio on the riverbank there. I say, would you be so kind, friend, as to collect my bolts for me, please?
Excellent. Okay.
Just come and get him. It's not a...
Can you collect my arrows as well?
It's a little creepy. This reminds me of the scene from Men in Tights when Little John fell in the river and it was like an you're like, oh, I can't swim.
I can't swim. Yes, I remember that. That's great. Let me just check something quickly.
That's 4 arrows that I used. So I get half back.
Well, you didn't do any critical misses,
So I get them all back.
so yeah, you can pick them back up.
I may have not got any critical misses, but I am going to the other side of the river to collect my bolts.
Aurelio, can you collect them for us, please?
Okay, and
So,
I don't mean to...
takes off his cape and lays it across like a little bit of the stream. And he's like, there you go.
I give a look. I just give a look at Weird Hal.
Okay, guys, you have successfully secured a means in and out of the castle. That is actually the mission for today.
Ooh, what's our experience points?
You get regular experience, so it is all the enemies you killed divided by 4. So that will be 300 experience, so 75 XP each.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much.
And it's not the most glamorous mission, but it is it is an important one because you will be using this tunnel a lot.
Yes. Okay, let me get onto the laptop so I can rate someone and thank everyone again and give shout That was something dark side. Let me just get onto Streamlabs.
Congratulations, you have achieved the old tunnel achievement.
Okay, so
I will design you a badge.
yay, a badge for us.
Someone put experience on Roll20?
You just have to add it on your character sheet. There's a section which says experience, so you'll be a level 1. You'll be a level 2 with 300 plus
There is an
75.
experience, not bar, but line. It says experience points.
Where is that? I can't see it on my sheet.
It's
Yeah.
on the top right of your character sheet, right below your background, next to your alignment, to the right of where your class and level are.
So-
If you don't see it, click on the cog in that box.
So each of you should have 350 experience from the first adventure because you saved so many people. And then you should have 75 experience from today's adventure. So 425 each, I would guess.
Yeah. I couldn't see it because I needed to press the code. So, yeah.
Alright, so let me do my shout outs. Thank you again so much to Mini Axe Miniatures. Again, can you let people know what it is you stream, honey?
Yeah, sure. I paint D&D minis and I talk about D&D and play D&D. play D&D, and I GM D&D. I love D&D. Let me put it like that. I love D&D. I love playing D&D. I love being a part of anything that is involved with D&D.
You're a D&D ho. All right, and basis of operations, can you remind people what you stream, honey?
I mostly stream miniature painting. I do also stream some Adeptus Titanicus.
Nice.
I also appear on other people's channels.
Awesome. All right, and darling, what you stream?
Well, I am a miniature painter as well. Haven't been doing it very frequently because I've been focusing more on sort of D&D, and unfortunately my work is doing exams at the moment, so I'm a bit overwhelmed. But yeah, so this is really exciting. I love being part of this. Thanks guys for turning up again today. I know this one probably wasn't as glamorous as the last adventure, but it was lovely to see how well you all role played in the keep, and how well you sort of got to know the characters, and you all went and did your own thing, which was really, really good. You really took what was a bit of a bare bones experience and turned it into quite a well thought out and sort of almost quite emotional experience at times. That's what I love to see. The role play is just brilliant from you guys, and I'm really enjoying being your dungeon master. So I can't wait till next Friday when we move on to the bigger and better adventures of this series. Oh, sorry. Oh yes, and of course, and also yeah, let's plug that as well. Definitely, we're definitely looking forward to getting back and playing on Miniax's event. I've got my own monk that's going to be hopefully doing a bit of damage. I'm a bit absent this last week because I haven't been able to get much time free. But I've had early morning exam invigilations. Yeah, but I will be back. This week, Felix will be back at least for a little while because he's level 4 now and he's only got one more level until he's out of touch with tier 1. Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to using Raina, who's now going to be because I changed who it was going to be for Miniax's game. So for my new tier 1, I've now got Raina, who is an elf druid, who is going to be the healer for the group. So,
guys, while we're already talking about this, I just wanted to take 1 second. I made a mistake when I told you guys about leveling up your character and how much it costs. I said it was 100 gold per day. What I meant to say was 100 gold per level. So to get to level 6, 600 gold pieces. I didn't mean per day. That's way more expensive.
So to get level 4 will be 400 gold.
To achieve level 4, well no, in tier 1, there is no cost in gold.
it's just adventure points.
It's just adventure. It's a downtime game.
Starting at 5th level and trying to advance, you'll have to pay 100 gold per level in addition to your downtime days to train a level.
Okay. All right, that's good to know. Thanks, honey. All right, but yeah, we're definitely looking forward to it. I've just put up the Discord.
Downtimes, not with normal points.
Your adventure points are considered. Your adventure checkpoints are considered as leveling checkpoints. Your downtime days can be spent in a variety of ways, and there is a gold cost associated with spending them.
Cool. Alright, we can talk more about that in the Discord, which I have just put up as well. So if anyone wants to join with our online board games, or also wants to join in our roleplay sessions, you are definitely more than welcome.
Is that tomorrow? Eventually tomorrow, is that right? Saturdays?
We've got the cinema tomorrow.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just wondering
but if Miniax is free and the others are free, that should be okay.
I thought that Miniax said on Saturdays he wants to do something. So
yeah.
I am going to try and run a session tomorrow, but last Saturday we didn't have much. Nobody was available to play.
Yeah.
Well, I think Six Pictures is only 2 hours long, so we should be here to play.
About 2 hours long.
See how it goes. If it doesn't work out, I'm just going to pick a different day.
Yep, that's fine. All right, cool. So I am going to say thank you very much to our GM, Many More Games. I want to say thank you to Basis of Operations. I want to say thank you to Rogue Gamer, and I want to say thank you to Miniax Mitchers for joining us.
And thank you, Missy, as well for joining us.
Thank you, darling. All right, so I'm going to hang up now from the Discord, and I'm going to find someone to raid.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. And I do apologise as well for the audio issues. I'm going to keep tweaking and see what I did wrong tonight, because I don't really know. I would like to say thank you very much to Plutonium OD. Thank you very much to Suza Kitty. Thank you very much to Fang and Claw Hobbies for popping in. I'd like to also say thank you to anyone else that I'm missing. Mary Hopeful for the host. Tyrannic Veteran for popping in as well. And also, yeah, we've done well. And I think that's it, as well as the role players hosting as well, to spread the word. All right, so let's go and find someone to raid. So give me 2 ticks. And thank you also to the lurkers and to the viewers, because it's fun, you know, sharing our role-playing and board gaming stories with you, and sharing the highs, the lows, the critical successes, and definitely the critical fails that happen too. So that is funny. Basis of Operation says next time the dwarf will get tossed across the water. Hell no!
Nobody tosses a dwarf.
Nobody tosses a dwarf.
Especially not in front of an elf.
Yeah, never gonna happen, honey. Never gonna happen. Alright, let me get on to... Oh yeah, I've got yogurt to eat. Mm-hmm. So that's been a really fun session tonight, guys. I've really enjoyed it.
I'm glad. It couldn't really go much, unfortunately. Oh, sorry, Andy. Unfortunately, it couldn't go on much further because we had to finish the tunnel. But if we did, we'd go to another long adventure.
Basis of Operations. I knew someone would get the reference, lol. Of course, yeah. I may be doing an early stream tomorrow, early afternoon. We're going to the cinema as well to see Detective Pikachu, and then hopefully we'll be in Miniax's game to play Adventure League. So yeah, lots and lots. So
I want to be a player again for that. That'd be fun.
yeah, you do, yeah. All right, so I need to search Dungeons and Dragons and see who else is playing role playing.
Oh, I used a lot of my battery power for
that. Basis of Operations, next game titled The Hunt for a Bridge Over the River.
The
Yes.
dwarf's missing shoe.
Yes, pretty much. We have got D&D Live 2019, The Descent, that's D&D. We have got Dungeon of the Mad Mage episode 17, Willowwood, join D&D characters, Scuffed D&D Tonight giveaway, D&D 5e, Pantheon. We've got a fair few people going on at the moment, guys. This is awesome. So, let's see who can give some love to.
Nice.
Let's see. Threads of Fate, Season 2, Episode 6. Yeah, we need to name our titles like this.
Got that for the newest adventure that's coming out for D&D.
Descent into Avernus. Ooh, cool.
It looks like it's got demons and stuff.
It does, doesn't it? Alright, cool. So, blah, blah, blah. Let's not go for the highest one. I think that's a bit unfair. Let's go to...
Hey, it's set in Waterdeep.
Let's go to Dungeon of the Mad Mage. That sounds like a really interesting thing.
It is actually a follow-on from one of the story we're doing, so...
Oh, okay. Let's not do Mad Mage.
No, do it, but we don't.
Yeah, we're not, no, I'll do something else, and I don't want to spoil it.
Oh my god, that's so cool. The new adventure's going to be in Baldur's Gate.
Alright, so let's try that again, guys. Sorry.
It's the
Be
Gotham
patient.
City of this week.
No, not good. Basis. I was actually going to ask the DM for a persuasion DC for myself, see if I could persuade myself to get into the fray, LeMayo. That's a clever idea, actually. Yeah.
Oh, maybe next thing me you can do that. Charisma, the voice in my head.
Well, Weird Hal kept doing it. What's Weird Hal going to do now? I love that so much, guys. Alright, we're back to where we should have been. Sorry about that. Okay, so not Mad Magic because we can't listen to that personally. Scuff D&D tonight. Let's see what they're like.
All right. Okay. So
I already like the noises.
we might have
that's already a given.
some
So that's
people
Duff
here
VA.
that might have some quandaries, and I see that we are not the best of friends. So maybe we should like find a table, sit down, and have
Do you
our
mind if we have a chat tomorrow?
grievances
At some point?
talked out.
Just plan it in the Discord.
Yeah, I'll pop it.
Yes.
Eel is on me, of
So,
course.
Here is the raid call, guys. It's
Everyone be
We Are
happy.
Home.
Wait, is he talking to who?
Duff
He's talking to
VA
everybody.
is who
Like, he's
we
literally
are
talking to
raid.
everybody. What do you?
Everyone around the same table.
What do you think about this?
Why is it? Oh, everybody's heard about the
Is there alcohol?
Yes.
Hey.
So thank you again for
Also,
joining, everyone.
Welcome in, Missy T.
Thank
you for following.
He ushers you people over to like a table over here.
You missed like a really snazzy part of the Dungeons and Dragons here.
You go over and sit?
Give a lot of love
Yeah.
to Duff VA. They seem
Lufa,
to be
do you go over and sit?
having a ton of fun.
I do, but I break the chair in the process, so I just sit on the floor.
Okay.
I'll sit here.
Yeah. He goes over to you, Alpha.
Just wait
Go
for it.
over and sit over there.
I give him a pointed
Whoa.
look and I go sit here.
Rolls, yeah. I mean,
Good.
I've done
You as well.
Wow. Thank you